Just a moment.
Maybe it's because of my playing so many awful, awful horror games on Steam. Games which follow the same old formula and rely on the same old scares which get thrown in with little thought or planning and rely on shameless YouTube personalities putting on a frightened face to get them some extra sales. But I kind of like Layers of Fear. I say kind of, because the game does fall into some of the same old habits which the genre struggles to escape. For one thing, several assets noticeably repeat themselves throughout the game, which hurts the immersion. Paintings are one thing, but how many jars of spices and sugar does one family need? Most of the time when words appeared on the walls or furniture, it didn't bother me at all. It certainly doesn't help that this happens repeatedly for the majority of the game. There are also some events which happen when you're standing in front of or near a certain area of the room, so if you're slightly off from where the game wants you to be, you'll have to tiptoe around until you're in the right place to make things happen. It also takes away from some moments when the game expects you to, for example, turn around entirely for a scare, but you only turn about halfway and a musical sting goes off while the scare is almost entirely off-screen. There are some puzzles to solve, but they're all incredibly simple, and I only got stuck once because I was overthinking the solution. And lastly, some scares simply fall flat. I don't know anyone with a phobia of apples, but if I did, I'd know what game to recommend them. However, there are some things Layers of Fear has going for it, such as the painting motif. You play as a painter, and as such, paint and paintings play a massive role throughout the game and contribute heavily to the atmosphere, with several paintings either being strange to begin with, or warping as the painter's psyche wears down and alters over the course of the game. Speaking of, the architecture of the painter's home makes absolutely no sense, and it only gets worse as he spirals further and further into madness. Why does this happen every time I say that? One trick which works well in this game is the changing landscape outside of the player's field of view. Once you look at one part of the room and turn to a side, or all the way around, everything you just walked through is either walled up or radically different from how it was before. I also like that it's not just a straight-up walking simulator, as there are instances where you can die and get set back a bit if you don't react properly to certain events, like opening the door when this happens. My favorite part of Layers of Fear is easily the storytelling. And part of the reason I didn't do this video sooner is that I was worried about spoiling anything. Like I said before, you play as a painter, whose goal is to create his greatest masterpiece, and the moment you start playing, it's apparent something's off. It's revealed moments into the game that he has a prosthetic leg, which apparently is the wrong size. You can notice this as soon as you start playing because of the strange walking animation. There are tons of mousetraps and rat poison in the home, and rats can be heard and seen in several places, but notices from exterminators say they never found any rats. Notes and items detail the relationship between the painter, his wife, and his kid, and the series of catastrophic events which happen to this family and lead him further and further down the proverbial rabbit hole, causing his art to suffer. That's about all I'm willing to say on the story front, but again, it's my favorite part of the game. There are some collectibles scattered around in the form of scribbles the painter drew about the rats, but beyond that, replayability is rather limited, unless you're searching for every possible way to die. And while I did enjoy it, it helped that I got the game while it was on sale. So if you can get it on sale, go ahead. Otherwise, the game normally sells for $20.
Aw, $20.